read me, over.
Sacrifice. What does it truly mean?
Do that.
To give something up? To lose something precious? Or is it the moment we transcend ourselves? The moment we become infinite? This is the story of a man, a father,
Goes. No, you gotta go further. You gotta record.
and how a single sacrifice changed not just him, but everything.
Do that.
In this moment, Cooper is not a pilot, not a scientist. He isn't even a hero. He's a father.
Ready?
Ready?
Ready.
And in that decision, in that single impossible decision, everything changes.
Heading towards blackness. A visual even.
As a hairpin, like that. That's basically the end of the movie.
In the hands of Christopher Nolan, time isn't just a concept, it's a force that creates characters, drives narratives, and reveals the deepest truths about humans.
It belonged to a man I met in a half-remembered dream.
But you won't find it because, of course, you're not really looking.
In Nolan's films, sacrifice isn't just about loss, it's about transformation.
But we did.
Do that.
From the very beginning, Nolan prepares us that Cooper, as one of the central protagonists, is destined for something extraordinary. As the narrative unfolds, it becomes clear that his character's transformation will be profoundly shaped by time.
Time's gonna change for me.
Nolan, as the master of foreshadowing, already from the beginning is telling us that this story is going to be about time, love, and sacrifice. From the very first scene, Nolan plants the emotional seed of the story, a father's love.
I love you. Forever. You hear me?
Cooper's plunge into Gargantua wasn't just the climax of Interstellar. It was the point when one man became something far greater than himself. A parent, a ghost, and a savior. But how did we get here? How did a guy who longed for adventure among the stars and wanted nothing more than to fly end up giving his life for love and humanity? To understand Cooper's transformation, we've got to go back to the beginning. When we first meet Cooper,
You're too tight.
I got this.
Rock, paper, scissors.
he's restless. He's a man out of time.
You're the one who doesn't belong. Born 40 years too late or 40 years too early. My daughter knew it, God bless her. And your kids know it, especially Murph.
For Cooper, it's stuck on a dying Earth where humanity's gaze has fallen from the stars to the dirt, the so-called Dust Bowl. Before we dive deep into character, it's definitely worth mentioning the Interstellar film's very first scenes and 2012's documentary series, The Dust Bowl, all go to the same place. All come from dust, and to dust all return. Do you get the sense that Nolan was drawn to the idea of depicting the world's end through the Dust Bowl? Or was he striving to create a vision of the future that feels as authentic and grounded as possible? That's a topic for another discussion. For now, let's return to Cooper and his pivotal choice, and how the director, through the precision of carefully chosen shots, guides us through the character's transformation, taking us from feelings of anger towards Cooper to a complex emotional state of joy and profound sadness simultaneously.
Everybody good? Plenty of slaves for my robot colony?
Nolan frequently uses close-up shots of Cooper's face to pull the audience into his emotional state. These shots allow us to see every subtle shift in Cooper's expressions, making his internal struggles and transformation deeply personal.
It says stay. Why? You're not listening.
Nolan frames Cooper in an extreme close-up as he kneels before young Murph, promising that he'll come back. The shot focuses on his eyes filled with conflict, guilt, and love, while Murph's tear-streaked face is captured in a matching close-up. This symmetry highlights the emotional bond between father and daughter, while the close framing traps them in their own grief. From this point onward, Cooper's life will be defined by sadness because of Murph, and Murph's life will carry sadness because of her father. At this moment, neither of them, nor the audience, fully understands the depth of what is unfolding. After returning from Miller's planet,
Hey, Dad.
Cooper watches years of video messages from his children. Nolan lingers on a tight close-up of Cooper's face as he silently breaks down. His tears, subtle movements of his jaw, and trembling breaths illustrate the weight of what he has lost, time with his children. It's without any doubt that Matthew McConaughey is just amazing in this role. He shows us the true transformation of his character. As Cooper's pod spins toward the black hole, he is shown as a minuscule dot against the swirling mass of Gargantua. And we all know why this black hole is called exactly Gargantua. This framing reinforces the idea of Cooper's sacrifice as something monumental, yet insignificant in the grand scale of the universe. A powerful visual metaphor for the tension between individual love and cosmic duty. It's like slowly going from close-ups to wide shots. It follows the flow smoothly, trapping our minds in the idea that from the seed, something very huge is growing. But for Interstellar, Nolan's signature use of cross-cutting is a key tool in showing Cooper's transformation, as it allows the audience to see how different moments of his life,
Murph!
past, present, and future, intersect and inform each other. And here we realize that all the small steps that Cooper, as a character, made become one big sacrifice. The sequence in which Murph solves the equation in the NASA base is intercut with Cooper's struggle in the Tesseract. As Cooper transmits the data through the watch, Nolan uses cross-cutting to show the direct connection between Cooper's sacrifice and Murph's triumph. The interweaving of these timelines visually conveys the theme of love transcending space and time. The final montage parallels Cooper's goodbye to Murph with his eventual reunion with her as an elderly woman. This cross-cutting underscores the cyclical nature of their relationship, while showing how his sacrifice shaped both of their lives.
But I knew you'd come back.
Cooper's sacrifice doesn't just change him, it changes Murph. His absence leaves a void, but it also plants a seed. The idea that solving the impossible isn't just a dream, it's a responsibility. Murph's transformation is the other side of Cooper's sacrifice. Where he gives up his presence, she gains a purpose. And that watch, a simple object imbued with the weight of love and time, becomes the key to unlocking humanity's survival. And then there's Dr. Brand, the woman who must grapple with the most ambiguous sacrifice of all, the lie her father told her. Cooper's choice to go to Dr. Mann's planet instead of the planet where her beloved man might be, and the truth she chooses to embrace.
Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
Dr. Brand's journey shows us that sacrifice isn't always clean. It's messy and uncertain, and often it leaves us questioning whether it was even worth it. But for her, the act of continuing of planting the seeds of humanity on a new world is itself the ultimate tribute to those who sacrificed before her. Sacrifice is not just an action, it's a choice, a decision to put love, hope, and humanity above the self.
Alone. Maybe right now she's settling.
Cooper, Murph, and Dr. Brand, we see that a single sacrifice can ripple outward, changing not just one character, but an entire species. It shows us that sacrifice isn't just about loss. It's about what we gain, a future worth fighting for, a legacy written in the stars. In the end, Cooper's sacrifice wasn't just a moment, it was a transformation of himself, of his daughter, of each character, of viewers, and transformation of humanity's destiny. With mastery of cinema, Nolan once again told us sometimes the most important moments in life require us to give up everything we have ever known, but what we gain can echo forever.